We're live. So many people are confused by this, and I want to just break it down because honestly, I was kind of confused by it. It took me a while to kind of understand what an AI agent is, what an AI agent does, the whole concept behind that, and the whole idea, what it all means to work with AI agent specifically, because that's where it gets confusing, is when you start talking about AI agents and again, all this AI talk come about, and for the longest I was just thrown off by the word agent. It's like, what is an agent? What does an AI agent do? How do you describe an agent? What's the meaning? What's the concept behind an agent? So we're gonna kind of break down what an AI agent is and go over that so you can get an idea of how you can quit being scared by it, because so many people are scared by AI. And so I really think I'm on the verge of starting an AI training course. I think I don't know. You guys tell me. You guys tell me if it would be worth it to do um, like a vibe coding training course. And I'm not talking about like, making $1,000 course or anything. I'm talking about like a $30 vibe coding trading course, just teaching you the basics of vibe coding and getting started with platforms like Claude, Cursor, Chat GPT, Codex, things like that. These are all words that you've probably heard by now in the AI world. But again, it's like so many times we're often scared by these words because they're big buzzwords nowadays. Just trying to get the chat pulled up here just in case you guys have any questions. Feel free to throw it in the comment. I'm live right now on YouTube, TikTok, and Facebook. So if you have any comments, just throw them down in there. I'm trying to keep an eye on that. But we're going to get into what exactly an AI agent is and what that even means. That's the question. What is an AI agent? What does it even mean? So we're about to break it down again. I just wanted to make sure I've got my chat pulled up here. Okay, yeah, we're good. Oh, I got it multiple times now. Oh, this is the one I wanted. Perfect. Okay. I'm just making sure the audio's good. Audio's checking out. I think we're good. Just making sure, because so many times I went live and audio doesn't work, or you go 45 minutes into it and then all of a sudden audio is terrible. So, what is an AI agent? Again, a lot of people are scared by this word, AI agent, and I think it's easy to get overwhelmed by the idea of what AI does and what AI is doing, but I want to simplify it and keep it really simple because it doesn't have to be overly complicated. An agent, if you start to think about an agent as a folder, right? It's just a folder. And I can name that folder whatever I want. Maybe I want to name him Sam. Maybe I want to name him the name of the project that I'm working on. That's usually the two common things here. Most likely, the project that you're working on, that's the name that you're going to come up with. So this is the root folder, is what I'll call it for the project, right? At the root of the project, you're going to have a root folder that houses all the files that are contained in the project. So the project file is the agent. That's the agent name. Of course, there's a little bit more to it, but we're going to start there. right? That's the project file at the root of the folder. So anytime you go into any of these AI platforms in what we'll call an IDE, right? That's like Cursor or Claude Desktop. These are apps that you can download on your computer that are going to allow you to chat with the AI. So, like when ChatGPT first started a few years ago, the biggest thing was being able to chat with it. And how we were going about that was going online and doing it through the web app. There was a web application, so you had to have a browser and go online and start chatting with ChatGPT. Well, that's evolved, and now we have desktop applications, and these desktop applications are able to do a whole bunch of things beyond what you're able to do inside of a web interface. So inside that web browser, you were kind of limited what you could do with some of the AI. But again, if you download the app on your computer, you open up an endless world of possibilities. And so I do recommend you using some sort of IDE, is what they're going to refer to it as, right? That's just a fancy word for this application, or what we refer to these applications as. But it's going to be one of the three: Claude, Codex, uh, or Cursor, right? Them are the three most popular ones. Of course, there's other ones out there, VS Code and other things like that. But in the vibe coding world, people that are not technical, or are not coming from the coding side of things or software development side of things, most likely you're going to find yourself using one of the easier options like Claude or ChatGPT, or Cursor even. So these are things where you're going to talk to that project. And every time you open one of these folders up, or excuse me, every time you open one of these IDEs up, it's going to ask you, like, where do you want to start? What repo do you want to start in? And a repo is just the project. That's just the folder. I'm going to think about this folder as several different things, right? And these are all interchangeable words when I think about a folder on a computer. And these are things that we've known for the last 30 years, since you've been working in grade school on a computer, if you're my age, right? Folders and file system, the folder and file system structure. So that's all an agent is a folder and file system structure. It's just how that's made up, and a little bit more organization to it, and a little bit more structure that gives it the agent personality, right? So when I think of an agent, I'm going to think of project, or this can also be, again, a folder, agent, right? These are all interchangeable words. These are my folders. I can think about it as an agent, folder, whatever I want to call it. That's all it is. It's just a folder. So it's my project. Or, again, if I want to get creative, I may say, well, that's my agent, Sam, and I talk to Sam. And every time I open my IDE, or my agent communication software, right? We can call it that, my IDE, my agent communication software. Every time I open that up, it asks me, who do you want to talk to? What project do you want to open? What folder do you want to open? What agent do you want to open? And so when it asks me that, I'm going to select a folder that I want to work out of. Okay, so now that I'm open the folder, and let's just say I've opened my project folder, and now that I'm in there, I'm in my project folder, right? If I'm in my project folder, now I should have a whole other subset of files and folders. So inside of that, that's going to be full of files, and these are going to be like MD files and other folders. So most likely I'm going to have a tools, right? I should have tools. And then again, these are just going to be routing files. So I should have a routing folder. And actually, let me back up here. I'm going to actually show you the subsets of folders, and we're going to get into this on the computer here in just a second too. Right, these are all folder systems inside of there. So these are routing, and then, I may have some other things. An assets folder, output, things like that. But inside of this folders, I'm going to have even more things, right? So that's inside of them. That's where I'm going to have, like, the skills that I'm going to install. So if you're familiar with these AI agents already, you can install skills. And when you install skills, this is how I'm making up the agent and the agent personality and what I want it to do is the tools that I'm putting in there. So again, inside my project folder, inside my agent folder, I'm going to have a routing folder. In that routing folder, it should be, that's where, my skill MDs, my Claude MD files, right? All my MD files and agent MD file, these are just folders telling the agent how to act. So what happens is when you open up that AI chat software, that's what I'm gonna refer to it as, the AI chat software. When you open that up, it says what agent do you want to communicate with? What folder do you want to talk to? What project do you want to work on? They're all interchangeable ideas in my head. So what agent do I want to work with? Well, I pick the agent, and then when I open up that agent, it's going to have Claude MD files, an agent MD file, all kinds of files inside of that that tell the agent what to do. So every time I open it, it goes and scans that folder and learns about the project before it starts communicating with me. So every time I say, hey, I want to talk to project, it says, okay, well, let me learn about you real quick. And it goes out there and goes through the tools, the routing, the skills, all the MD files that you've put in there, all the assets that you've put together to learn about what is it supposed to be doing. That's all it is. So it's just a set of files, again, most likely markdown files, MD files, telling it what to do, but it's going to be more folders and more MD files or more files or tools. And the tools could be other little things. It could be SQL tools. It could be Python code. It could be, other code, JS, JavaScript, or HTML, CSS, whatever you may need, other assets that you may need, or tools or skills that you may need to get the job done for whatever you're working on. And once I have this folder structure built out, that's when I say, okay, well, I have this agent. The agent has all the knowledge that I need it to have to get the job done or to accomplish what I need it to do to get it done. And so when I start to think about an agent like a folder instead of an agent like some James Bond 007 agent out there that's like, getting stuff done in the background, I'm like, I don't even know how he's doing it, what he's doing. And that's why I'm so scared of AI. Most people are so scared of AI because they don't understand the concept of it. But you do understand it. It's just you're not putting it together. You're not putting together that it's literally just a project folder, and that's my agent. And that folder just so happens to contain everything it needs to know about what I'm working on for this specific task, this specific project, or whatever the case may be, right? So when I start thinking about agents as folders, again, the concept in my head becomes a lot clearer on how I'm thinking about this. And so, with that being said, a lot of these softwares or SaaS or, I'm seeing entire SaaS platforms that have been built over the years that have probably made millions, if not billions of dollars on some of these things. And all they really are is just a folder with the collection of agents with the collection of files, making it up as an agent. And then that gets the job done for you. That's software development at its finest, but we're getting back down to the root and the core of it and simplifying it. But again, we get so far away from the concept of what it really is that we start throwing out all these other ideas, and it gets so lost from what it is. It's a file and folder structure at the core of it. So I'm going to show you that right here, and this will help you understand some of that. But here we go. This is what we're looking at. So let's just say this is my AI, this is my agent, right? I'm calling this agent demo. And so, let me get in here and open it up. So I've got demo agent, and you can see inside of demo agent, this is what a structure usually looks like. So again, imagine this is called project. I may call him Sam because I want to talk to Sam all the time and I want to refer to my AI as Sam. So I call my project Sam and I talk to Sam all the time. And Sam has an identity. And so Sam's identity, he would know his name. Inside of this file, it would tell Sam, hey, I'm going to call you Sam, right? If you want to call him Sam, it says, hey, every time I refer to Sam, or maybe I want to call him, Ava, or maybe I want to call him, Gordo. And every time I say that, that's who you are. I'm referring to you. So you're going to establish his name, you're going to establish his role, and then the way that he communicates with you and the voice. And so these are easily established. These are something that you're going to do in the very beginning when you're setting up these agents or these folders or files. And a lot of the times the AI is going to chat with you and do this. So it's going to interview you and, you're going to get it to interview you, right? I would tell you that the best thing you could do when you start using AI is tell it your goal and then tell it to interview you to figure out how to get to that goal. And then the AI will continue to ask you questions until it completely comprehends what you're trying to do, and then it's going to understand your tone, your voice. And a lot of times it'll put these files together for you. And the more niche that you wanted or the more specific that you wanted, that's when you're going to get in there and start fine-tuning this. But you're not actually going to get into this file structure. Very rarely do I actually get into the files and the folders. I don't ever look at this. I'm just trying to help you realize that when I think about the agent, again, so many people run from the word agent because they're like, hey, I got this AI agent. I got 7 agents doing this. I got 6 agents doing that. I got 10 agents out here doing that. What is an agent? What do you mean you got an agent? I have a folder that is set up with all the knowledge, the skills, the tools, and the connections that it needs to get a job done consistently. That's what I mean when I say I have an agent, right? And so again, if I start to apply that concept in my head, it makes it a lot easier to understand that it's not some magic. There's not some magic going on in the background. I've put together a folder and file structure with all the information that it needs to do what I need it to do. So it's going to have a memory, just like a person, right? That's why we call it an agent, because it's almost structured like a person. It's going to have short-term memory, long-term memory. These are assets, right? If I had assets, then I would throw anything in there, right? Like these are overlays, things that I'm going to be using during the production of whatever my task at hand is. I'm going to have a routing folder, and this is my routing folder is going to tell it all the intents, where to look, when to look at other files, when to use other files, how to use other files, and everything. It's going to kind of put it all together in the routing folder. This is what's going to tell the agent, hey, when this happens, this is what you should be using. When I say this is what you should be using, right? This is the routing file that's going to put it all together for the AI agent. You don't have to build this. The agent's going to build this when you just tell it and talk to the AI. But again, I'm just going in depth on what's actually happening in the background when you're talking to the AI. It ends up putting all this together. You don't know it, and then it's hard for you to understand that it was just files and folders that it put together to make up its life, essentially. And we can get into rules. You're going to set rules. Hey, never do this, never do that, never do this. And you're going to set some hard guidelines, maybe some soft guidelines that you'll let it break or things. And then you start to get into subsets of agents, right? You may set up an agent that's going to manage a subset of other agents, and them agents will report back to another agent. So I may say, hey, you're the boss, and then there's going to be a hierarchy here of these other agents who report back to you. Just wait and always monitor their work and do that. But again, I'm just setting up folders to monitor other folders and their output. So I'm going to set rules, and I'm going to set guidelines for how I want them to act. Again, I'm going to install all the skills. Maybe, if I need them to go draft emails or I need them to summarize emails, I'm going to give them give this folder all the skills and attachments that it needs to get that job done. And at the same rate, tools kind of falls right into that bag where it's going to need connections. Maybe I'm having it go to my email and draft emails and reply to emails, or read emails and draft up emails for me to respond. It's going to need to be able to connect to my email platform. Or maybe I'm having it go into QuickBooks and look at my QuickBooks P&L statements and pull it and see whether it's reconciled or not, and doing things like that. Then it needs the tools and the connections to be able to accomplish the task at hand. And that's going to live in the tools folder. And then very common, you're going to have the agent MD. Again, this is just kind of another overall file giving the agent direction when your IDE first gets into there and starts talking to it. So I hope this helps you understand the concept of what an agent is. I hope it helps you quit being scared of the word agent and AI agent. Because it's a simple thing to understand. We just overcomplicate it in our heads. And then a lot of the times, since we don't understand it, we just run from trying to figure it out, and we never really address the issue at hand. So I just wanted to come on here because I had a phone call with somebody the other day, and they were like, man, I really don't understand this agent stuff. And I was like, what do you mean you don't understand it? And I didn't realize that it was such a... I don't know, like again, for me, it took a few months to understand the concept. Like a couple of years ago, people started talking about these agent things, and I'm like, my agent, right? So it took me a couple months to kind of catch on to like they're just putting all the files together in a folder, and we call that the agent. So just kind of hit me, after a couple of months of doing it. But again, here we are 2, 3, 4 years into some people hearing about AI or using AI, and then they still don't understand the concept of an agent. And so I just wanted to come on here and clarify it, because when I said that to the guy I was talking to, he was just like, oh, that makes sense. Like, it's just a folder with the files in there that I've given it to get everything done. And I was like, yeah, so like, just quit being scared of the word agent, embrace it, start talking to it, and start realizing like, hey, I can put multiple folders together that know everything it needs to know about my business, or about my project, about my, whatever it is that I'm using the AI for. I can create an agent that's going to help me and assist me be more prompt, so I don't always have to go back and give it all the context of what I'm trying to accomplish. This is going to give that agent the context at a split second, rather than you having to fill up your chat window with context and tell it, hey, this is my business, this is what my business does, this is what I'm trying to do, right? And then you have to tell it about your business and tell it like, this is the name of my business, these are my brand colors, these are my brand assets. Well, if it all lives in here, if it has my logo and it has my name, my address, my phone number, I don't have to tell it all that. I could just say, hey, draft up an email from me that tells somebody this, and then it'll go make the email that says that, without me having to elaborate on giving it further context about what it is my business does, what the goal of it is. And so again, you can really start niching these folders down, or these agents down, to very specific projects. And the more specific you get them with what their task is, the better they do that one task. So I wouldn't have an agent that went out there and tried to accomplish 10 different things. Every folder, every agent needs to have a very specific set of tasks. And the more specific or niche down that task is, the better that task outcome will be. So you're going to have a bunch of small sets of agents, and again, I would have them report back to a boss or a jefe, a sub agent that monitors and audits their work, and the output folders of these individual folders, or agents, if you will. So I hope this helped. I'm going to be putting out a lot more content like this, talking about the AI. If you follow me, I've always talked about AI and things like that. But I'm realizing that there's a need in the market for people to understand more and more about AI, and not only AI. I don't want to implement AI for people. I want to teach people how to use AI, because I think AI is the wave of the future. And AI is not taking jobs, it's replacing jobs and recreating titles for jobs. And so you're going to be a director of AI more and more and more in your everyday job than you want to be. And so it's becoming, how can I become a data architect, a AI architect? How can I architect or direct the AI in a way that gets my job done at a 10 times more efficient rate than what I would do it on my own? And so I always argue with people that I don't think AI is replacing um, your job. I think it's retitling your job, right? It may replace some of the job titles, but there's going to be a job for you. You just may be doing something else. You may be directing AI, working with AI, and becoming a data architect rather than a physical architect in the real world. So um, I think there's going to be a need here for training on AI. So I think I'm going to do more and more training and put more and more training videos out on how to work with AI, how to get started with AI, how to vibe code, how to create some of these projects and little things that are very useful in your day-to-day business. Because again, I think we're at a point in time in the world in business where instead of going out and hiring an outside uh, platform or company to come in and do what I need them to do, it's at the point where if I can find a couple of employees that have enough of the skill sets, I can give them the tools that they need to build everything they need, everything that I need in my business for a fraction of the cost, for the cost of that employee. So I can actually employ somebody at a decent salary rather than having to go out and pay hundreds of thousands of dollars for software development, for customized software, or CRMs that are customized and niche down to you, and ongoing builds. Man, I've talked to agents who are paying $25,000, $30,000, $40,000 a month to platforms like Salesforce, and it's because it's an ongoing tweak and constant tweak of things like that. I think them days are gone. There's no longer the need for that. If you can find a guy that knows how to use this AI and implement the AI, this is where we're going to excel in business, because we're going to be able to create and make all the tools that you need to run your business a little bit more efficiently. And we don't have to go out there and spend tens of thousands of dollars on these external platforms and softwares, customizing them to what my business needs. Instead, I'm building it from the inside out rather than building it from the outside in. And so I think that's going to evolve the way that people are doing business. I think it's going to change how fast people are able to scale their businesses and what they're able to do. And I think it's going to be a huge wave over the next 3 to 5 years of self implementation and people being able to build on their own and build their own um, software solutions, essentially. And I'm here to lead the way. I want to teach people how to do that. I want to be the guy, the course where if you have a business and you want to hire that guy, and maybe that guy has the technical ability and he has the potential, but you just want to get him there and expedite that process, kind of jumpstart his what he needs to know. I want to be able to train that guy, get him up to speed, train him on what he needs to know to actually come back and perform in your business at a high level, and give you what you need to do that. Almost a school or an academy, if you will, right? So if you hire an AI or a tech employee, and he's like, yeah, I know this tech stuff, but I want to take my tech skills to another level. Well, it's either go out and buy an online course or something like that, but I want to actually provide a real world course. I don't know, I think I mentioned that, but like a in-person course. So I've been thinking about doing two things. Senior training. I'm going to start training seniors on technology and using AI. So if you're a senior and you want to use AI, I'll be probably doing that here pretty soon here in Tupelo, Mississippi, doing a senior, I call it a technology training, but my mother-in-law said it needed to be specifically on AI. I was saying how to use your iPhone, like an iPhone and computer training class, and she said no, I'll do it on AI and teach senior citizens, people over 65 or over 60 or 55, how to use AI. And so I just thought it was an interesting concept. And so I definitely think there's a need for AI training, and I want to lead the way on that and provide you guys with some solutions for that. Again, provide the Academy solution for vibe coding and things like that. So looking forward to putting more and more content out there. We're going to do it, ain't we, sis?
Yeah.
We're going to do it. Say hey to the people.
Hey.
Say hey to the people.
Hey.
Hey. So we're just enjoying our Saturday night, huh?
Yeah.
So yeah.
But Mommy's at work.
Yeah, Mommy working, and we
At
just out
the
here.
flea market.
We just out here helping the people, ain't we? Yeah, we just want to help all the people.
I'm trying to get my daddy open this.
Yep. All right. You want to play some card games?
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, it's card game time, guys. So we're going to go ahead and enjoy the rest of this Saturday night and play some card games. But I'm glad I got to come on here because I've been wanting to talk about this again this past week. I had a lot of conversations
Well, you better
about
talk to it.
AI, but not implementing AI, more training people on AI and getting people to use AI, because I've realized so many people are scared of AI. I tell them what I'm doing with it, and they're like, "Oh, I haven't even started. I don't even know what to do with that. Don't even know what an agent is." So hopefully this helps.
My face is so dirty because I ate some cookies earlier.
She was eating ice cream and cookies. That's why she's all dirty. She just want to let y'all know so y'all didn't think she was a dirty little girl. No.
I'm always a dirty little girl.
Oh no! We better get her a bath.
And I know where it's got this many. How many is this?
2?
It's got 2 bathrooms.
No, we got tree.
Because one is in there. And Trip's room.
Yeah, what about trippers?
It's got this many. One is Jet's. One is mine and Jet's. But I don't want to sleep in my own room.
Yeah. Well. All right, guys. Well, thank you for joining. Be sure to follow for more tips. I'm going to be coming on here.
A long time ago, I've been sleeping in my own room. I heard a growl under my bed.
Uh-oh.
Yeah.
Did you get it? Was it a monster?
I heard it under my bed, like a growl.
Or was it a monster?
I think.
She heard the growl under her bed. Well, next time you come get Daddy, and I'll come get that monster. How about that?
Okay.
Okay. Okay. Daddy will get the monster. What you got? What you got? What is that? What are we gonna play?
I'm good.
Oh, this one's fun. Telestrations. So we're gonna play that one. It's gonna be fun. All right. Again, be sure to follow. I'll talk to you next time. Take care. Have a good night.